having a coach is just such an important thing when it comes to either of those sports, bodybuilding or powerlifting. But I mean, the tall aspect is just another thing that I just find so fascinating. Another tall question because I mean, I just think about just doing squats and being someone who's my height. It's so much difficult or so much different and difficult than someone else maybe who's a little bit shorter doing it. Do you find that you have to do different techniques and different ways in order to get the best results as opposed to someone like a Steffi Cohen who is a lot on the shorter side?
Um, no, not really. I mean, just I would think more it's individually the body mechanics are different. But well, I say different, but I mean so as in more like how you're built conformationally. Um, Standing next to my husband is 5'3.5". The other day it was kind of funny. We're talking to my coach Matt. We stood next to each other, put our arms down by our sides, and I'll be darned if my husband's and I's the ends of our hands were the same, which meant that I had like super long arms, and that there's some advantages to being taller too. Like when I'm deadlifting, I mean, I wouldn't say that there's any lift that is particularly my favorite, at least right now, because I'm enjoying learning about all of the lifts. But definitely having an advantage sometimes can give somebody, especially myself, like a kind of a propensity to go, yeah, I like that. Yeah, I like deadlifting.
The biggest problem that I had with the long arms was that when I'm bench pressing though, it's like you got to go down almost like a full foot more than some other people were, and then just going all the way up where you're just like, I mean, I had a friend in high school who he was a lineman and he was only like 5'8" or something like that, but just seeing him just because he already was bigger just from being more having more weight, so he would just pop him up, whereas me, you got to go all the way down, then it's like you're pressing the world up basically. Where I mean, yeah, it is fascinating, how different people of different sizes, it is the same type of training, but it also it can be different at times as well.
Oh yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree definitely. It has its advantages.
Oh, well, absolutely. Yeah, I wouldn't trade this for anything. I always tell my friends, especially when it comes to, let's be honest, if you're 6'3", I mean, you get away with a lot more where you're able to help people out, Yeah, it's a lot better. I love being this height, but sometimes, there just like everything in life, there's drawbacks to everything. But before you're going into this first powerlifting meet, what area do you think has improved the most in the 3 months since you started powerlifting, and what area do you think needs the most work?
Oh, it's funny that you ask that. I would say my strength, and in particular, my strength in my glutes. When I'm deadlifting, if I miss, it's because of my glutes. That's something that I mean, when I, f- I found out when I could push weight in bodybuilding, like say for instance, if I was doing a glute push, I worked up to, and I apologize because I don't exactly know the exact weight for this, but 645 plates per side glute push. And I could do that for 10 reps. That's strong. I mean, I think most people would admit that that's really strong. And yet, when I'm powerlifting and I'm deadlifting my glutes, that's what will make me miss the lift. So that there was another thing too. I was like, well, shoot, I thought my glutes were already strong, but they weren't strong in the way that would, that's well, they're still strong, but they weren't strong. And as I progressed to heavier and heavier weight, that I can lock out, like say for instance that deadlift, because they're not quite strong enough yet, but they're progressively getting stronger.